Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug, ignored a leaky faucet, pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look like that? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects. But there's an easier way. Thumbtack is the app that makes it easier to care for your home. Pull out your phone and in just a few taps, search, chat, and book highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Download Thumbtack and start caring for your home the easier way.
They say opposites attract. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is the best bed for couples. You can each choose what's right for you, whenever you like. You like a bed that feels firm, but they want soft? Sleep Number does that. You want to sleep cooler, while they like to feel warm. Sleep Number does that too. Sleep Number Smart Beds also learn how you sleep and provide you with personalized insights to help you sleep even better. You have to feel it to believe it. Find the bed that's for both of you, only at a Sleep Number store. 9 out of 10 couples say they sleep better on a Sleep Number Smart Bed. Time to catch some Z's. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number number 1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now during Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing for a limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com. See store for details.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is Real Talk, No Strings Attached. The podcast brought to you by the youth of Indianapolis, using this platform and their voice to touch on vital topics they believe impact their communities. Here's the Real Talk team for some real talk, no strings attached.
Are you ready? Because here we go. So first of all, how has March Madness been on your mental health, for real? No, for real.
My my blood pressure's been raised a little bit. Shed a couple of tears, had a lot of screams, and my bracket, it's not completely busted. I have UConn and Creighton in the Final Four. UConn winning it also.
Okay.
My bracket's not completely busted.
What about girls? Don't shy away. Support women's sports. London, support women's sports.
Mine's is kind of all over the place with women. I have USC winning.
I really only like boys basketball. I don't like going to.
How has March Madness been on your mental health?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been good.
It's been good. It's been something to talk about.
Yeah, it's been good.
This is a safe place. You don't have to kind of hide behind the camera.
No, I'm for real.
Safe.
Oh,
It's been good.
It's been good.
It's actually been good.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're probably the first person who's had mental health, who has had March Madness. Been good for their mental
It's
health.
been good. I don't know. It's probably because all that shopping I've been doing.
Oh,
Yikes.
more than you're probably not even paying attention
Yikes.
then.
Well, let's get into it then. I say that it sounds like y'all are referencing some coping skills.
Yes.
That's what we would call it in the therapeutic world, coping skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys manage? Like, how do you manage? It's real out here, right? It's real out here.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do to cope with and manage any challenges that you're facing in the real life?
I would say church and also prayer and just knowing my limits and balance, like when I'm getting stressed out, like how to like stop myself from getting stressed out or like the anxiety to come in my life. And also like church is my cope because I got praise dance there and it's fun. Like I just love it. Like it's everything. And I grew up in the church too. So that's like my escape, if that makes sense.
I feel and I feel like at church too, you can just catch the Holy Spirit real quick.
For real, be jumping right across.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And nobody gonna judge you either. You can really let that thing out. I love it.
I definitely think church is my safe place. I just know I have a safe place at home, and I know that I have places at school that are kind of like a safe place, a teacher's classroom, or just talking to somebody I trust. So I think just knowing the people I trust and trying to find what makes me happy, that's kind of like how I cope with things.
What can we suggest to other youth that might tune in on this and be like, yo, I don't really have a church home. I don't know if I necessarily, believe in religion or things along those lines. What can we suggest coping-wise to help them still combat those challenges they're facing?
Maybe just like find like an outlet for them, so it doesn't necessarily have to be church. That's mine, but I know sometimes for other people it's like skating and stuff like that.
Ooh,
so
skating.
Just like finding an outlet for them to help them go through things, because some people do like to keep things in. So just find that outlet for them. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Just finding something that pertains to them, something that they like, whether it's painting, listening to music, just their outlet for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a church home, you have a church home with my church. So if someone doesn't have a church home, I would definitely invite them. But if they're not religious, then I would definitely try to help them, or at least try to like steer them in like the right path of finding like the safe place, finding what kind of makes them happy, finding what they can cope with.
Right.
That's kind of what I would do to somebody that like doesn't really have a church home, or like doesn't really know like what they can cope with. So that's what I would do. So I play on a football team. Did you play on any sports teams?
Yeah, I did. I played volleyball, basketball. I was 3-sport. You had the Letterman jacket back in the day. Those were really fly. So you rock in the Letterman jacket with the 3-sport award. Shoddy, I was the cleanest in the camp. Like, seriously, like, I can't make this up.
Did you play a sport?
Oh, I still do. I'm a cheerleader, though. I know people be saying cheerleading is not a sport, but it is, because I have to go to the GU every month to get my flips, because you can't be on team if you don't have like a tuck or a back handspring. So yes, and I'm a base too, so they be hurting my back. Them Flyers.
Yeah, you gotta support put the team on your back. Literally.
Okay.
Literally.
Like, I know for me on my team, I kind of already, like, I have like my parents, like outside friends, but I knew like on my football team right now, I kind of have a group of people that I have a wide pool of other teammates and even coaches that I can trust and go to.
I love
in
that.
case like I need them for something. Like, I just want to know, like, do you guys feel the same way? And do you guys think like other athletes should use the
platform,
the platform, like their team as like another resource in case they don't have any other outside options?
So I personally feel like, since I know a lot of football players at Warren, they actually use like football as their coping mechanism, or like to get offers or sponsorships and stuff like that. It keeps them out the streets, because Damien, he has he's my age, and he has a lot of colleges that want him, and scholarships. So with that being said, like he said, if he didn't do football, he would be in the streets. And I know a lot of football players like that. Like, if they did not have football, they would be in the streets doing whatever. So I feel like they do use it. The people that don't use it, that's like their fault, because they give them opportunities and ways to get scholarships and stuff like that. So it's all about putting your mind to it and having the mindset, if you want to do it, take advantage of it.
I agree. I do have to say, back in my day, there was still a lot of stigma surrounding mental health and kind of seeking support in that manner. It's unfortunate, right? Because it's the injury you can't see. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like my ankle is hurting and you can see I'm in this boot, or my finger is broken and you can see I got this cast. But it seems maybe more welcomed conversation in your generation, which I'm in love with. But can you tell me more about how my view of stigmatized mental health versus how it's maybe more accepted in your generation?
I think it just comes with more people opening up.
Ooh, vulnerability.
Like more people opening up, more people like I feel like mental health is starting to affect like teams now, and teams are like starting to get like involved. Like the NFL, like the Colts and their Kicking the Stigma campaign.
Love it.
Like I like how the Colts did that. And it kind of like shown. It's kind of like shown a
different
cast
side.
a light on mental health in athletes, and I feel like other teams around the state and around the country, for that matter, are starting to take notice and take into effect, like that it's okay, like to teach their athletes it's okay and not be okay. If you need help, seek help, and we're here for you.
Right.
So I feel like that's kind of like how, like the stigma from your generation has kind of changed, has kind of evolved.
I love it. I love evolution.
And kind of staying with stigma, I kind of want to like shift into more of like mental health around like male athletes.
Say that.
Especially like
Lead
black.
this conversation. Lead us. Where are we going?
Like, especially like
Where are we going?
especially like black male athletes, because I feel like a lot of young black male athletes are kind of just like, they're kind of like ignored almost. Like their mental health is ignored because they're kind of viewed as quote unquote Superman or something.
Right.
Like especially like by their fellow students and by their teachers and even by some coaches. So I feel like a lot of black like mental health, like a lot of black athletes, a lot of black male athletes, especially young athletes, are like now starting to feel the wraths of all that pressure from their coaches and their teammates and their classmates and even their parents and society, and no one's really talking about it. So how do you guys think that we should address that? Kind of just put you guys on the spot up there.
There's a lot of weight on black men, on men especially, black men as well. The numbers don't lie. I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to really look into statistics, but statistically speaking, it's to my knowledge that black men are unfortunately leading in the now suicidal crisis, whereas at first they were not.
These are young black males or young black athletes?
These are young black males. In regards to athletes, I just, unfortunately, this is a cultural thing almost, is that this is a lack of cultural competence in how we address black men and how we tolerate, quote unquote, their emotion. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull this out. 35% of elite athletes experience depression, burnout, anxiety, or disordered eating. And that might not seem high, but that's still relatively high. And you kind of don't want, because 35% of your athletes, of your male athletes at that, experiencing burnout is not, that's not a good sign.
And get this, that statistic is probably only considering those who reported it. So you have to think about people who maybe don't even know what that emotion feels like to be able to acknowledge it and say, oh, that's anxiety.
And notice how I only said young athletes as well. I mean, only male athletes. That I don't know about young males. Because the thing about young men is that when it comes to the mental health of a young man, we kind of sweep it under the rug. Like that's what I kind of did with my mental health for a little bit. I kind of just swept it under the rug because you kind of don't want anybody to know, because you kind of want people to be like, yeah, I'm a man now. Like I can handle it. I can tough it out on my own. So it's almost like we just sweep it under the rug instead of instead of actually talking about it. But like when we get older now, we're actually going to talk about it. But I feel like that 35% number is likely closer. Don't really like run with these words I'm going to say, but I'm just going to make an educated guess because the numbers aren't officially out there. But I'm going to assume, because this number is 35%, that the number in young male athletes is probably closer to 50%. And I wouldn't be shocked if that number was higher.
Yeah. I like I said, there's an issue with underreporting, or just like I'm saying, not knowing at all what that emotion really is. Maybe you've experienced this emotion all your life. You don't know what that really is. You just think you're worried, and then next thing you know, it's actually a little bit more intense, but you're coping with it. You're pushing it on the rug. Do you guys feel like you have people to support you?
Yes.
Yeah,
family, friends.
I feel like my church family, my family at school, my family with football, and my actual family, those are kind of my outlets I go to. But not everyone has those outlets. So I feel like, if anything, we kind of have to look at and focus on those that don't have the same outlets and resources as us.
What should adults know about mental health in youth?
That young people are going through something, and don't block them because their age does matter and their opinion does matter. So when you push it out, it's like, dang, I already don't have, like Trey was saying, the kids that don't have resources, they already don't have resources. And then when they do cry for help or do need someone to talk to, they're shutting them down. So just listen to the youth. They're crying for help. It's obviously a reason why the suicide rates have been up, and it's been on the news. Just listen to us and give us outlets for the kids that don't have it. There's mentors, therapists, like give them those resources. So when they go out there, instead of, ending their life or trying to harm themselves, self-harm, they have another option, someone to talk to someone, or finding something that's therapeutic for themselves that they didn't know that they have within.
Yeah, like you said, there's a reason why the suicide rate is going up among young people. It's because no one's really listening to them. No one's really paying attention to young people, and no one's really. Everyone thinks that they're young, so they'll just get over it. They're young, so they can handle it. Yeah, they'll go into it. Like that's not really how things work.
Ooh.
Because let's say like a young person is experiencing mental health. Because let's say that they have a growing problem at home, and their parents, they have an absent dad, and they have I kind of don't want to say this, but kind of have a mom who's kind of addicted to drugs, because that's a real thing. And let's say the dad comes back and gets into a huge argument with the mom, and they get into constant fights every night. So that kid can't sleep at night because there's yelling and screaming going on in the kitchen and living room.
Yeah.
So now that kid is dealing with something, but no one knows because, they're a kid, they'll just go into it. So then when that kid gets into a fight at school, it's not because he's a bad kid. It's because he's going through something and no one's helping him, and he's finally reached his breaking point. So, and then we wonder, and then we expel that kid. So now his problem with mental health gets even worse. And now you wonder why you got somebody in the streets toting Glocks around and selling drugs. And then you look at the news a couple weeks later and you find him dead or in jail. So I kind of feel like it's all by design almost. It's almost by design, especially with kids in poverty. They kind of want to ruin kids' mental health at an early age. Basically, kick them out of school, and then throw them onto the streets, and then
Ooh.
and then throw them in jail or let them die. It's kind of the repeating cycle. It's kind of getting irritating.
Okay. Ooh, you are spitting, dude. Is your mic hot? Let me touch it. Wow, it's crazy. Dude, I'm trying to
It's
figure
actually kind of
It's
cool.
burning. I'm
It is
actually
cold.
I'm feeling the
is
heat
cold.
right here, though. I'm feeling it.
No, I'm feeling it too because he's really talking about
For
cyclical
real.
issues
Yes.
that are really so prevalent in society. What if I told you that sleep is directly correlated to mental health?
Yeah.
Like if you oversleep or something.
Or like if you undersleep,
Yeah.
like you don't sleep enough.
How much sleep are you getting, London? You the social media queen.
I feel like I sleep too much, but then right now I feel real tired. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
You see, I'm in the off season. Actually, I'm not gonna get any sleep starting next week because we start
Football.
we start 6 a.m. workout. Well, 6 a.m. meetings followed by 7 a.m. workouts. So I'm gonna be up at 5 o'clock. So I gotta make sure I'm in the bed by like 10:30, 11, just to make sure I get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep.
Boy, you ain't gotta ask me to be in bed by 10:30, 11.
Yeah,
I'm
but then
letting you
again,
know.
that's kind of as an athlete. Like, here's the thing
I'm in
with
bed
an
by 9.
athlete, it's kind of high risk, high reward, because like you're risking your sleep schedule, kind of your health.
But as
I'll
an
put that in
athlete-
quotations, but the reward is
As an athlete,
you get to take things off your mind. You get experiences you likely would have never had, and if you're good enough to play at the next level, you get scholarship money. You get to go to school for free. So,
Or you can get drafted.
and you can get drafted and make money.
as an athlete, you need sleep in order
Yeah.
to actually repair your muscles. And
Do
Sleep.
you take like cold baths, or like how do you feel like after a long day and it's been hard and it's
Long
been
day,
messing with your mental?
had
Like,
school.
what do you do to repair from that? Like, do you even get time
Had
to repair,
practice.
or is it just like I'm just drained? Like you're going into a dark space now. Like, how do you deal with that?
Ooh, how do you recoup?
Right.
That's what I heard you say. How
Wow.
do you recoup?
I kind of want to actually spin it back to you guys. I saw something, and I keep hearing it. Stretching can actually like help reduce stress, and stretching can like kind of calm your body down. So I know I'm kind of getting a routine in the stretching, especially my hips and my lower back. But I just want to know, like, are you guys starting to get into that too? You guys heard about that?
So I actually did do a panel with mental health, and it was like athletes versus mental health or something like that. And we did do stretching for the first 30 minutes. It was kind of like yoga. But it was
Facts.
like, but they turned off the lights and had music.
Yes.
When I tell you, that felt so good. Like at first, you know, when you go in, you laugh and like you don't really care because you thinking it's fun and games until you actually get into it. That actually works. Like just taking some time to just breathe, stretch, relax your muscles before you actually get into that area where you're talking about like what you've been through and anxiety and depression and stuff like that. Stretching does actually help. So I feel like taking that time out to just stretch and relax, and whether it's yoga, I know they call it something with Zumba or something like that. That too. Just getting that time to just relax and stretch, it actually does work.
I do actually want to go back to what you said, like how you're laughing and giggling before them because
I
you're
play
not.
too much.
Well, no, it's not just you. It's other teenagers as well. It's other, like, before any. One thing I've kind of acknowledged is that anytime, like, one of us, like a teenager, does something, like, that can help us, we kind of just joke around because we don't think it's actually going to help us.
Right.
So we're just like, oh, I'm here because my parents made me do it. Or I'm here because you guys kind of forced me to do it. And then you get into it. You're like, oh, this is actually kind of beneficial. And now they're starting to get into it. So like, I know with Real Talk, here at Real Talk, we're going to do this thing called Good Vibes Only. That's why I'm kind of, you guys like that plug there, by the way? You like that Good Vibes Only plug?
What you mean by that? What is that?
I just plugged Good Vibes Only for
Good
us.
Vibes Only.
I thought when you said plug. Okay.
Anyway,
man.
but with Real Talk, we're doing Good Vibes Only in May, I believe. And I kind of expect that. kind of attitude with Good Vibes Only. The kids get there, they're not really thinking anything of it. They're kind of here because their parents want them here, or they're kind of here because they're, say, a day reporting kid voices. So they're not thinking anything of it. And then they get to the actual event. They start playing the mini games. They start eating the food. They start going to the different classrooms. Now it's like, oh, okay. Now I kind of understand what this really is. Now I like this a lot. And now they're engaged. Now they're intrigued. And now they want to do more. So I kind of feel like if we want to take that same approach to mental health, and like mental health summits and, like some stuff like that, I feel like that's how we can kind of get kids, and we just kind of keep going. It's like, because the reason why adults don't talk about mental health and go after it a lot with the kids is that they think, oh, in the first 5 minutes they'll be tuned out. Well, yeah, because it's the first 5 minutes. But if you keep going in, like 15 minutes in, they're actually going to be listening. They're actually going to talk. So, like, they're actually going to be engaged. So, yeah, in the first 5 minutes, they're going to be quiet. They're not going to be engaged. But then you actually do stuff to get them engaged. You'll see the difference.
So what do we need to do? Like, do I need to have the schools be hosting a yoga class? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, what
Yes.
what do we need to do? Do we need sound baths?
Like,
Engage with the youth, because I was actually on a panel with Miss Taylor recently, and there were youth on board, that never did panels ever before, and they said like they want to get more in tune with the teachers, like just be able to talk to them one-on-one, because when the teachers come in the classroom, I guess they're supposed to be like, how was your day? What have you been doing? Are you okay? Like
teachers don't
things
do that?
like that. No, not at all.
No.
They don't ask that. And like mentors and stuff like that we do have in, like they brush them off, or like the police officers, they don't really talk to the kids. They're rude. So it's just like, we want like a connection. That's what the kids are crying out for. And I never really thought about that, but they just want a connection, somebody to talk to, just like somebody to be able to have a conversation with, because we're in the building with them for 8 hours. We want somebody to connect with, talk to. So that's very important.
I like how you mentioned officers, because look, I kind of, and don't really hate me for this, but I love the idea of a school resource officer. Mm-hmm. But the way it's put into practice is absolutely terrible. Like, Lawrence Township had them. They had some good ones, but the way they actually implemented them are absolutely terrible. I know Warren has SROs as well. You can probably tell, like, are they good at it? Are they
The officers?
Yeah, the SROs.
So they're like rude. There are officers that are cool, like that do have a bond with the students, but I'm not trying to be rude, but they're black though. So, they get in touch, like, what's up? They call them Unc or something like that. Like, they feel more in touch because they feel like they're family. So they like connect with them, like the officers. But some of the other officers are really rude. Like, they don't really care about the students. They don't engage with them. Things like that. Like, they're just rude the way they talk. So it's like, we want a connection with them. Like, if we're gonna spend here all day with you, we want a connection with you. So we do have them type of officers at our school.
Because I remember last semester in my whole freshman year, we had this one lady. Her name was Officer Dom. I'll never forget her. Like, the entire school population loved her. Like, she was almost like the principal. The way that we treated her. Like, we loved her. Now she's unfortunately not at the school anymore, because the agency that employed her is no longer a thing. So she had to go back to Cicero, which is where she came from. So, and then we got a new SRO. He's nothing like Officer Dom. Like, he's kind of just like quiet, doesn't really have a connection with the kids like that. He's kind of just stays by himself. He's really just a security guy, if anything. Like Officer Dom is kind of like an actual resource that we could go to if we need anything. And she provides safety. So I like the way SROs, I like the idea of an SRO, but I feel like the way that people practice, like I feel the connection has to be there. Because that's the whole point of an SRO. It's supposed to be another connection and provide safety to kids.
Also, I feel like the counselors, I'm not going to lie, I'm mad at my new counselor because we have so many new counselors that came into our school. My old counselor, like, she helped me so much. And my new counselor, she does not talk to me, like, how am I doing? She does not do checkups with me. There's been so much going on with our school where they're going to Tennessee State University. My old counselor made sure I was in every single thing. And this counselor, she has not told me about anything with 21st Century Scholars. My old counselor kept me up with everything. And now I'm literally about to get dropped out 21st Century Scholar because we always have a group meeting, and I thought that I was on track, and I'm not. I just get a letter in the mail today. So it's just about like the counselors too. Like they can be a big impact. Like people don't know how big counselors can be, but they can actually be a very big impact like that. Checking up on you. How are you doing? What can I help you with? You know, there's an event coming up, like things like that. Counselors are mandatory, period.
Yeah, I know they're especially important, especially because Warren has like what, 2,500 students?
Yes.
2,600 students. So that's more than double the size of my school. And our counselors are pretty good. We have, I think, like 5 or 6 counselors.
Wow. That's crazy.
For 1,100 kids, plus a social worker, plus a mental health counselor. So,
and they're still managing to get everything done.
And they're still managing to get it done. We also have a college and career coordinator. So, like the stuff with 21st Century Scholars, our counselors don't even have to do anything with that because we have another counselor, but that's her entire job is literally to email us like, hey, like we just go to her and she has a whole list of college visits that we can go to and sign up for.
Exactly. And I feel like that's mandatory, especially for someone like me. My mom has not saved up for college for me. So it's like that type of stuff is mandatory. I need that. Like, a lot of people don't know how mandatory that is, but I don't have enough money saved up for college, you know? So, like, you have all these resources, which I did have at first, but I don't have a good counselor. But you see how important that is. Like, you have all of that lined up for you.
Yeah, I feel like schools have to prioritize, like, when a scholarship opportunity opens up, like, 21st Century Scholars. Like, I think because they changed requirements, I don't think I no longer require for 21st Century Scholars, but I still qualify for some scholarships. And our college and career counselor, she sends us alerts and emails like, hey, opportunity opens up. Hey, there's a college visit going to the University of Cincinnati.
Nice.
On like a Thursday evening. Like, we'll get back on Friday, but we'll get back on like Saturday or something, but just go down to the University of Cincinnati and take a tour of the campus, go in a classroom, stuff like that. Like, nice. Our counselors, like our personal counselors, don't have to do that. Our personal counselors are kind of there for, like, if you got to switch a schedule or creating your schedule or something else minor. And then you got the social worker who's there if you need any extra support. And then the mental health counselors, they're actually for your mental health. So it's kind of like I kind of don't, because not every school is going to benefit from our model. Like the way we do things probably won't work at one.
Yeah, our counselors, they have all in one, if that makes sense. So they do the schedule. They let you know all the upcoming events. They make sure that you're on track for 21st Century Scholar. We don't have different people.
If I may ask, how many counselors do you have?
So I believe we have about 25 to 30 counselors, and it's like 3 different offices. Then we have deans, so it's 3 deans for each grade, but they just make sure that you're doing good, that you're on track, stuff like that. But the counselors carry all of that. But since we have that many counselors, they should be on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think in that case, it's just more of hiring the right people.
Right.
I think it's because you have the right idea, like 2,600 kids, so you probably need about 30 counselors. But the thing is, with 30 counselors, you gotta have 30 good counselors. You can't have 9 really good ones and then 15 mediocre ones, because one mediocre counselor can screw it up for like a whole group of kids. So you kind of have to hire the right people. So like, you kind of have to hire the right people if you're gonna have 30 counselors. I like the idea of 30 counselors. You just gotta hire 30 good counselors. Mm-hmm. So how do you guys like, because I kind of heard about the idea and I kind of want to see it implemented. Do you guys think we need mental health days in our school? In school, like every Friday should be a mental health day where it's no school, maybe some extracurricular activities, but no school, no work, no homework, just the day off to recuperate and recharge, back to school on Monday.
Yes, I feel like we do need to have a mental health day, because one of my teachers gives me homework just so I can have it over the weekend, so I don't have a day to myself. Like I have to do homework over the weekend. Like she does it on purpose, so all her class periods will have homework over the weekend. So it's just like that one day, like you would think the weekend, like everybody else gets a day off to themselves, but I don't. So like that one day, like even if it's like once or twice out the month, that's very like effectful. Like I can get my hair done that day, whether it's get my nails done, whether it's read a book, like just that day to myself, just to recuperate, get myself together. That's very important. Like mental health days are important. I know Nadia has a mental health day. Her mom gives her one day. What is it? One day a month, right?
I think it might be one day a month.
Yes, one day a month, or it's either one day a month or one day a semester. But either way, she gets a mental health day, and she says that helps. That helps her, and her mother even says that's an impact to her daughter. She even knows that we need mental health days. Like, that's important. So at least giving your child at least one day out of the month or the semester, just, to take that day, because they know when they're getting low and that they just need that day.
I know my teachers don't do it on purpose because things just happen. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you get assigned an in-class assignment that's due, let's say you get assigned an assignment in class on Friday, but it was only 15 minutes left in class and you didn't finish it. So you have to do it over the weekend and turn it in on Monday. Like I know things just happen. And I know my teachers don't purposely assign us assignments.
Oh, she give us packets.
But I know, like, chemistry is literally the bane of my existence. Like, I can't wait till this year's over so that way I can throw it away and never have to take it again. Like, I'm so serious, I hate chemistry. Like, and every single weekend I have to do homework over chemistry. And I don't like doing that. I don't like doing chemistry homework anyway, let alone doing it on a Saturday or a Sunday.
That's how I feel about nursing. Like nursing, it's nothing easy about nursing. That's people's lives that you got in your hands. Like you have to learn everything. Suffixes. I never knew that like suffixes was that important. Like blood work, like all of that is so important. Like every single small detail.
I gotta write 10, 15 like equations, memorizing balance equations. Like, why am I doing this on a Sunday evening? Like, I can't relax. I can't watch TV. Like I can't watch March Madness. I can't watch football. I can't do anything. Like, I have to spend an hour and a half doing 15 balance equations on chemistry. So I feel like even if we get a mental health day, maybe I can spend that day doing the stuff, like doing anything I didn't get done throughout the week.
That's what I would do.
That way, I have Saturday and Sunday 100% to myself. I can do whatever I want without doing homework, those 2 days, all because I had a mental health day on Friday. So that's why I feel like we kind of need a mental health day just to kind of recharge and just to kind of like, okay, maybe so today I have no school. I'll check my folders. All right, let's see, go through every class. Oh, I have this homework. I have this assignment. Let me get this done. Then I get that done. I have that entire day and then the entire weekend to myself.
But what do we do for those that don't necessarily have the healthiest home life and school is their safe place?
I feel like
School is where they eat. School is where they are at peace.
Brushing their teeth and stuff. I be seeing people that
On me.
I be
Yes.
seeing
On
people
me.
that brush their teeth
taking showers in the locker room because they can't take showers
Hey,
in their own home.
it gets real.
But I'm glad you
gets
brought that up because
What do we do?
That's why I'm glad that like nonprofits like Voices.
Amen.
Like that's why I'm glad Voices Corporation exists. By the
I
way,
swear, Voice is
like,
so cool.
because Voices, like
Voices is really lit.
every day, Voices has a van and they pick up the day reporting kids and they bring them to Voices. They feed them breakfast and they feed them lunch. Like I feel like we need that, but in every city, every county, and every state, because not every city has Voices.
Right.
But every city can get Voices, whether it's a government-run agency or it's a nonprofit.
Right.
Because I feel like even if, like, because let's say, okay, fine, you live in the suburbs or you live in an affluent place and go to an affluent school, so you have a good home life. You can go home and feel safe. But let's say you live right in the heart of Chicago, and you don't have the best home life. Well, let's say there was a nonprofit or there was an organization in Chicago that can take you in on Fridays, give you a safe place to do, basically give you a safe place to be a teenager, give you a safe place to be a kid. And that's why I also think that that's why I also think these after school programs need to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because I know that because you brought up sleep, I'm going to bring up another thing, eating. Eating plays a huge role in the mental health.
Yes.
And if you don't eat enough, it can really throw off your whole mood. Like, even if you don't eat a lot, because I know a lot of people that don't eat a lot. But even people that don't eat a lot, they still eat when they have to. Some people can't even eat when they have to. So they go throughout the whole day starving, and now you wonder why they have anger issues. So I feel like if school and after-school programs served breakfast, lunch, and dinner to people, breakfast, lunch, I think should be required to serve. And I don't think you should pay a dime for it. Dinner, I think, should be open to people that need it. But I think if school and after-school programs serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner to kids, I feel like that would solve an even more pressing need in the home. So that, say you go home, your parents don't have enough money to put food on the table, at least you got food from your school or from an after-school program. So to answer your question, for kids that don't have the same resources as us, I think that's when nonprofits and government initiatives have to come in, have to step in and say, hey, you don't have the resources as other kids. I'm here to help.
So it sounds like you might have some ideas in regards to what.
I have some policy ideas too.
Say that.
For when
exactly.
you become a state senator.
In regards to what we need to do in order to really push words into action, right? In order to do so, what do we need to do? What do we need to see from parents, from educators, if it's government, like what do adults, what do we need to be, what can I do to be of service to you two, right?
It's gonna take a lot, I would say. It's gonna take everybody to actually recognize the problem and to
acknowledge it.
Yeah, to recognize and acknowledge the problem, and then once the entire community recognizes it, hopefully hopefully, knock on wood, I'm not gonna jinx it, but hopefully the state government and state governments across the country and the federal government finally hears us. And I feel like if all of us recognize the problem and all of us support a common goal, then the government will like us. And then the government will hear us. If they don't, we just go to the ballot box and vote them out.
I feel like they really don't care how bad we get.
Oh, no, they don't. They don't.
Like, even if it gets really bad, they don't care.
I'll say this.
Who do you think does not care?
I say
The government.
60%. Actually, nah. 75%. No. I'll say 85% of our politicians don't care.
85 do not care?
Do
That's
not
how you
care.
feel?
Yeah.
What do you think, London? 80?
I think
85?
I don't know. That's really high.
I mean,
like, I feel like we got like good cops, and then we got the bad cops, and then I know like a lot of Republicans don't care about like the youth and stuff, as you can tell. But I feel like we do have a lot of good people out there for them. But since the Republicans overrule, they shut the Democrats down, so we really don't have a voice for real.
And I'll say that
they overrule.
And I'll say that on this.
They are trying.
I'll say that on that issue. I feel like it's Republicans mainly that don't care, but there are also a lot of Democrats that don't care either. Because when I look at politics today, all I see, and there's a few good people out there. Like there's a few good people, but the majority of Democrats and Republicans, when they run, they're corporately owned. So they have ties to corporate PACs. They have ties to corporate PACs. When, when they run, they have ties to corporations. They don't, and then when they get elected, they don't listen unless the corporate donors tell them. When they tell them like what to do, and a lot of the time the corporate donors tell them the opposite of what we want. So that's why I say it's 85% of politicians, and that's a high number, because I think 85% of our politicians are owned by corporations.
Can I ask though? That's a very large number. 80. You're saying 85%.
That number's probably low. I'm probably exaggerating.
No, this is how you feel. I just want to know. You're saying 85% of politicians right now do not care about youth issues? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Yes.
How does that, truly, please, how does that make you feel? Because I need to know.
It makes me feel like, that not only I, but all of us can't trust our government anymore. And I understand, because like we have social media, like every time there's a political post, everyone's saying this is why we can't trust our government.
You saw the
can we trust our government anymore?
They're trying to block.
Yeah, like
political posts now.
They're trying to block. Like Instagram wants to block political posts because there's so much negativity, and I think the TikTok ban, or they're trying to ban it, I don't think it will really get banned. I think the chances of a ban is 0.1%. But again, the House passed a bill trying to ban TikTok. I think that showed us that these people don't really care about solving our issues. And if they don't care about solving the basic issues, how are they going to care about solving the issues containing the youth? If they won't even care about containing issues, like controlling issues that concern adults.
Is this a deterrent for you? Like, does this say, like,
to me, it's
is this like, hey, I'm going to go vote tomorrow? Like
to me, it's not
fired up, or does it
like,
make you
to me, it fires me up.
Good.
But to others, it discourages them because I expect results. Everyone expects results from the elected officials. But I'm that type of person to where if I don't get the results, I'm going to go to the ballot box. I'm going to go to the primaries.
Hey.
I'm going to vote them out.
Okay, say that.
I'm going to go to the primaries. I'm going to vote them out. If that doesn't work, I'm going to go to the general. I'm going to vote for the opponent.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna vote for the opponent, or I'm gonna vote through a party. I'm going to do one of that. Because I'm not going to vote for someone if they have given me 0 results. Like, if I were to go to the ballot box for governor right now, and let's say Mike Braun was on the ballot, and he did absolutely nothing in his first term, I would likely vote for his opponent, whoever that would be, whether it's the primary or general. Okay. But then again, some people are wired that way, and they'll say, oh, well, nothing got done, so what's the point of even voting again? I'm not going to vote because the same thing's just going to happen. Nothing will get done, and everything will get worse.
Dog, this all stemmed from a conversation about mental health. Really fast, I got to backtrack, okay? So London mentioned, right, that it seems as though some people aren't able to get things done because of, the party that they are affiliated with. Can you shed some light to that? Like, what do you say to people that maybe are not getting results? Do you think it's a cop out? Like, how do you feel about it?
I feel like, can you repeat the question again?
For the politicians right now that are not getting results, and to London's point, saying, well, Democrats, right, in the House have a super minority.
Yes. Republicans have a super majority in the state.
Right.
I feel like that kind of ties into kind of voter suppression almost, and kind of shunning voters away, and kind of also lying to voters, saying, hey, when I go to office, I'm going to do this, and this. People take the eye candy and they say, oh, okay, I'm going to vote for this guy then because he's going to do this, and this. He or she gets elected. They don't do this, and this. But then when they go up for re-election, all they do is take that platform and paste it to the new platform, and people keep falling for the same eye candy. So I kind of don't want to say voters are dumb, because they're not really dumb. I kind of say they're misinformed. The average U.S. voter is kind of misinformed, and they kind of just vote based on vibes and based on party affiliation and whatever the media tells them. And if a candidate's, like, say I'm a Republican in Richmond, Indiana, and both candidates say the Democratic candidate is better than the Republican, but I vote for the Republican because I'm a Republican. Like, that's kind of how messed up our politics are right now, because people just vote for the party because of the party. Right. They don't vote for the person. They don't vote for the candidate based on the person they are.
Right.
That's why I kind of don't like the ideas of political parties, because political parties kind of take away power from the people and throw it towards a party. And that's why I kind of admire Europe's political system, because in Europe, you actually vote based on the person. And then, like, I know in one European country, you vote for a person, right? And then the person you vote for is a vote for that party. So you don't vote for the party, you vote for the person, and the person you vote for is a vote for that party. So you're technically not voting for a party. That's not the way in America. Like, when you vote for, when whoever you vote for, and for the House of Representatives, like, say you vote for Andre Carson. Yeah, you vote for Andre Carson, but you're also voting for Democrats in the House. That's why some people vote for whoever they vote for, because they don't care about who the representative is. They really care about who controls the House. So that's kind of why our politics is the way it is. And it's kind of like hiding issues like mental health and kind of hiding real issues.
Right.
Like, I kind of want to say mainstream issues, because mental health is not a mainstream issue. Like, housing affordability is not really, I guess now it's kind of a mainstream issue, but now all you look in the news is immigration, the housing affordability in the economy. But things like what we just covered, personal finance, mental health, gun violence, none of those are really mainstream. Social media.
Social media is getting up there.
Especially mental health and social media. Those aren't really mainstream ideas anymore. No one really cares about them. So kind of to get back to mental health, in order to highlight mental health, well, the whole thing's about kind of highlighting mental health. I won't say that. But in order to like actually address mental health, we first have to shine a new light on it, if that kind of makes sense.
Right. To say, acknowledge it.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge it.
To say that it exists in these multitude of facets, right? To say that it exists in the way our government is being, right?
We kind of almost have to force it and make it a mainstream idea, which is why podcasts like these exist, to kind of force ideas like mental health into the national, like into the mainstream media.
What do we want to see from parents?
Kind of like just check on your kids almost.
Facts.
Like kind of check on your kids.
It's crazy.
Make sure that make sure they're okay. Like, because I know my parents always check on me, and I kind of like that from them, because like if I'm quiet, they're just, hey Trey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Like, I have people that all their parents do is just randomly check on them. I'm like, yeah, it might be annoying, like, I'm like, mom, go away, dad, go away, but like they're doing it for a reason. But not everyone has that type of parent. So as we say, what do parents have to do? Not everyone has a loving parent, unfortunately. So it's almost kind of like, so to kind of reword your question, it's almost kind of like, what do we do for those, like, what do we do for those that don't have a loving parent, that don't have a parent that can check on them every day?
Can I say something real quick? To her question, I feel like we need parents that don't act like friends. As you can tell, a lot of these parents be dressing like hoochie mamas, like they our age, just be talking like them, be letting their kids smoke in front of them. They don't care. Like, we need someone that's going to be a leader, somebody that we can look up to, a role model. We do not need a friend. We have enough friends. And I feel like when parents be like, oh, I'm not one of your little friends, I honestly understand that I don't need you to be my friend, because I have enough of them. I need you to be my role model. A lot of these parents, they let them do whatever, go wild at parties. They get shot up. Then their kid is dead, and they wonder why. Why is my son doing this? Why is my daughter dead? Why is all of this? But they're not being a good parent. So I just feel like leadership is important. We need leadership from the parents. We don't need you to be our friends. We need support. We need you to hear us. And we need like a role model there.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like, to go back to your, like, I'm not your little friend.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha.
My mom would always say.
That sounds like something she would say.
My mom would always say, I'm not one of your little friends. Like, she would always say that. But she would also, like one day she said that, and she said, you want to know why I said that? Because I'm not one of your little friends. I'm your mother.
Right.
Like, I'm your mother. Like, I'm supposed to be, like, when a mother, and even the same thing with fathers, when a mom or a dad is, like, tough on you, it's not because they hate you. It's out of tough love. It's called tough love. And that's kind of their job, is to give you tough love. Like,
I don't think it's tough love to just be like, no.
Right.
Like, sometimes y'all need to hear no.
Parent.
Like, a lot of the times,
I'm gonna hold you. I got your back. I promise you. But this time, no. Like,
right.
I still have your back. Like, I still love you. It's called unconditional love. I still love you, but no.
And the only thing
you cannot go out the house like that. No.
And the only thing I'll say
you cannot run with this crew. Right. No. Like, you cannot. I'm sorry.
The only thing I'll say about that is parents will say no, but because I feel like when kids disobey their parents like that, it's because the kids don't view them as a sign of authority. And I think that stems from the parents. I think that stems from the parents not really loving for them like that. So when a parent tells them no, it's almost like the parent is trying to get tough with the kid, right? So it's almost like if a parent would tell their kid, no, you can't go out to this party late at night. Like, if my mom would say that, I would be like, okay, I wouldn't go. But if my mom didn't truly love me the way she did, and my mom truly like didn't care for me, and she just told me no out the blue and no explanation, then I would kind of be like, oh, is she trying to get tough with me? Like, is she trying to think she's better than me? Like, that's probably.
Does she always have to give you an explanation if it's just no?
No, at least not with me. But I know with some kids, they kind of have to give them an explanation.
They need that explanation?
Because a lot of kids don't know why they said no. Because a lot of kids can't take no for an answer.
Okay, what do I heard you guys say already what we need from educators, which is really just to check in, a connection, right? I heard you say, like, they don't even be asking how your day going. Like, daggone, dude, like, that's crazy.
So just to kind of wrap this up, what do you guys, do you have a question?
Oh, no, I'm just trying to figure out this call to action. This call to action, we've already addressed what parents need. We already addressed what we need from educators. We've already addressed what we need from our government. What about law enforcement?
Kind of just like with law, in terms of law enforcement, just kind of understanding, kind of not resorting to violence.
Wow.
Like not having like immediate every time they see a black teen walking down the street, they'll immediately heckle them. Like I saw in the news this morning, like 2 cops in Plainfield Police is getting sued currently because 2 of the cops out in Plainfield like ran into the back of a black teen and his friend and shot up his car because they called in because an armed robbery was called in at the McDonald's. Turns out there was no armed robbery, and the police were kind of pranked, but they ran into the back of this teen's car and shot up and fired shots at their car. Now nobody was injured, thank God, but that police department is being sued.
Yeah.
So it's almost like every time police see like a black teen or just a teen in general, let's not resort to violence. Violence should be the last resort if you feel threatened. Like you won't feel threatened just approaching a black teen sitting on a bench outside of a McDonald's with his hood up. Like you don't feel intimidated from that. Because half the time they're going through something. So I feel like just understanding and not resorting to violence every time they see a teen.
Whew. All right. Well, you heard it here first from the Real Talk crew. We're addressing mental health and giving youth the platform to communicate what coping skills they need. Open up to what issues they're facing. I have had the pleasure of joining in on this conversation. My name is Shania Graves.
I'm Trey Jefferson.
In London, signing out.
Signing out.
Okay, here we go.
Peace.
Real talk show. Real talk, it's the Real Talk show. Hey.
This is Real Talk. No strings attached. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. And be sure to check out other great podcasts on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Online now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.